At George Dickel, we don't believe in doing things the easy way, because the right way is rarely easy. We believe that if it's worth doing, then it's worth doing right. That's why all George Dickel whiskey has and will forever be made the hard way, the right way, by hand, with uncompromising attention paid to even the finest details. It's the way George Dickel himself made whiskey in 1870, when he discovered that whiskey made in the winter was smoother to taste. So while it might take us a little more time and effort, we make sure to chill every batch before mellowing to make George Dickel whiskey just the way it should be made. George Dickel emigrated to America from Germany in the 1850s and began selling whiskey in Nashville in the 1860s. He dreamed of crafting an American whiskey that was as fine as any Scotch whiskey, and to find a distillery that could help him realize his dream. That distillery was Cascade Hollow, which he purchased in 1870. George Dickel was a craftsman dedicated to making fine whiskey. He had such pride in his whiskey, he spelled it without the E, like the finest sipping Scotch he'd ever had. By 1904, under the leadership of George's wife Augusta Dickel, the distillery had become the largest in Tennessee. Prohibition became federal law in 1919. However, it was enacted in Tennessee 9 years prior to that in 1910. The distillery was closed, and for nearly 4 decades, the world would go without George Dickel Tennessee whiskey. In 1958, master distiller Ralph Dupps rebuilt the distillery. To ensure the whiskey's authenticity, Dupps obtained the original manuscripts in which George Dickel had detailed his unique recipe and process. Today, master distiller John Lund carries on the tradition of excellence that has made our brand a symbol of quality for over 140 years. But our whiskey is not only about looking backward to our heritage. It's about continuing forward with a mission to remind a distracted world that hard work, determination, and integrity are the true measures of success. Because for us, making whiskey with integrity isn't a business, it's a belief. A belief that goes into each drop we distill and bottle we cork. A belief that separates us from the whiskeys that take shortcuts when they think nobody is watching. Only a few people work in our distillery, where there is a real person present at every stage of the whiskey-making process, using their knowledge and expertise to craft great whiskey, rather than relying on computers programmed to do it for them. We produce 6 distinctly different award-winning whiskeys at George Dickel. George Dickel No. 1, George Dickel No. 8, George Dickel No. 12, George Dickel Barrel Select, George Dickel Rye Whiskey, and George Dickel Single Barrel. We make whiskey with integrity because we're people with integrity. We serve the drinkers who recognize that it's not just what you build, but how you build it that makes all the difference. That's why George Dickel is handmade the hard way, and will continue to be until we pour our last drop.